Welcome to Pink Style's channel. Let's look at the smash hit. When you see me hitting with short pips, you might think I am just using my hand to strike, but actually, the body must lead the shot. You must retract your core, then explode forward using body mechanics. On the return, keep the racket face open. If you close it, your contact area becomes too small. An open angle allows for a solid, thick contact. Push the ball forward solidly, drive through it rather than brushing. However, during the backswing, your wrist must load back. If you don't snap the wrist back, you won't generate that snapping power. So, load the wrist, then snap forward. This maximizes your power output, but you must also read the incoming ball. If the rhythm is slow, you have time to retract fully. This lets you generate full power. But if the ball is fast, you won't have time for a large wrist load. Just retract the body and rely more on core strength. You must distinguish between borrowing force, blocking, and active power generation. Choose the right mechanic for the shot. I heard several key points there. Let's summarize the core concepts. Right. For the smash, don't press the racket down. Short pips do not require brushing friction. Correct. Yes. No friction needed. Do not close the angle to brush. Understand? We must keep the face open. Secondly, on the return, don't just poke at the ball like this. Don't just push with the upper arm. As Coach Zhu said, there is a wrist snap mechanism. Open the face, then snap it forward. Yes, especially on slower balls. You have the space to execute this. You need that drawback to generate force. Get it? Don't just stiff arm it. If you just shove, that energy is dead energy. There's no explosiveness in that. If you just push stiffly, you can only effectively block or borrow power. Maybe against a loop, you can block like that. But in a fast rally or exchange, you need to synchronize. Don't make the wrist too fancy, or you'll lose control. But for active power, you must load back. Retract, then snap. And what about the body mechanics? Regarding the body, it's about control. The core must remain tight. That's the only way to hit consistently. If you rely solely on the hand, your accuracy will suffer greatly. Using the body helps because large muscle groups are stronger than the hand. This ensures a stable shot. So, the core takeaways. Coach Zhu emphasizes body stability. Don't be loose. Stay concentrated. Keep the racket angle open, load back, and smash through. Right? Let me demonstrate again. Coach Zhu will hit a few to show us. Watch closely. I am very focused. My body retracts first. 2. When the ball comes, you must recoil immediately. By recoiling, you create the space to punch forward. Retract first. I've loaded my body power. When I extend, I hit the ball, combining my force with the ball's incoming speed. When see the recoil? As the ball approaches, I am already engaged. When the serve comes, I've already retracted. This allows for a solid impact contact. That is high quality. Absolutely do not try to add spin while smashing if you try to brush with pips, because raw rubber lacks grip. Especially on topspin, friction makes the ball slip into the net. Inverted rubber uses friction for safety. Pips don't. Hit it solid. Push it forward. Yes. The difficulty with short pips is you cannot hesitate. Once you set it up, go, and keep the stroke compact. Look at this shot. If I hesitate, and the stroke gets too long, it goes long. The effect is poor. If my follow-through is too long, the force isn't concentrated. Keep it short. Combine the forces instantly. That produces the maximum power. Correct. It is definitely not. Must be concise. Also, consider the relationship with the table. You need to find the rhythm. Because this ball, you must borrow the rebound force from the table. As the ball rises off the table, catch that rebound energy. Add your body weight to it. That gives the highest quality. If you only use your own brute force, it won't work well. Watch. As it comes, Merge with the table's rebound. Table force plus body force equals maximum speed. It must be taken on the rise. The timing point is critical. Rising phase, near the top, not the falling phase. Once it drops, it's hard to smash it down. Catch it while it's going up. Use body and hand strength to suppress it down. Correct. It goes up. You push down. Forces combine. If it bounces and drops, you can't combine the forces anymore. The energy has dissipated. Short pips play is all about feeling the timing point. The point of contact is vital. Let me show some common mistakes. First mistake. The most common issue I see is pressing the racket angle down, trying to roll it forward. Look, if the angle is closed and you push, you can't hit deep. It goes into the net. You can't produce a long trajectory. And if the incoming ball has spin, it will slip on the pimples. Feel the difference when I press down. See? If I do that, it goes straight into the net. It slips instantly. That's the nature of inverted thinking. Sometimes players get nervous, especially short pip players. Ending when tight, I make this mistake too. When nervous, you close the face, minimizing contact, a small contact area. Inverted rubber allows adjustment via friction. You can save it with spin. Short pips have no friction. You just kill the ball into the net. See? It doesn't go over. Even if it goes over, it lands short, mid-table, here or here. It doesn't reach the baseline white line. Now watch when I open the angle, bright face. When I hit, see? It goes deep to the baseline. I didn't even use full power. Keep the face open. Short pips don't need brush. The second point, I think everyone. When I play matches, you wear a wristband. This helps fix the wrist and reduce shaking. Raw rubber. Implies the rubber isn't cooked, grippy. It's raw. It's slippery. The goal of the band is to reduce hand wobbling during impact. The biggest taboo for short pips is shaking the wrist during fast exchanges. If you wobble, you cannot hit the sweet spot consistently. The ball flies wildly, especially when changing placement or trying to add power. People tend to flick the wrist loosely, but the back of the hand must be locked tight first. Don't shake. Lock the back of the hand. If you shake, it's easy to. Once it shakes, the placement becomes random. You lose stability. Exactly. When you play, you feel unstable. That's because of the wrist. Lock the back of the hand first. Impact the ball, then add the wrist snap force that ensures a very high success rate on the table. Hold the ball, then push forward. Wow, good. That's explosive. Pure power. Now, how to handle heavy spin. For example, when opponents loop very spinny topspin. How to deal with it? The principle remains the same. First, the racket angle never changes. It must be relatively open, bright. If you press down, you won't get a clean hit or a sufficient angle. Push into the ball firmly first, then drive forward. Even against heavy spin, stabilize the racket against the ball. Push it. Drive forward slightly. This keeps the ball down. But importantly, don't reach for the ball with your hand. Use your feet. Get the feet to the ball. Ball is here. Hey, feet arrive, body arrives. The most critical part is using the body's core and your center of gravity, CG, to suppress the ball. Guard the ball. Topspin comes here. I use my core. My hand barely moves. The hand is just for feeling. Defense happens at high speed. Their shot quality is high, so you don't have time to make big movements. But if your body is stable and in position, and your CG keeps up, that is the key. Ball comes, find it with your CG, body. Lean forward slightly. But how do you manage the center of gravity? Lifting the CG up is wrong, because the ball is kicking up. You must lean firmly, have a forward-leaning posture. Even though you are blocking. Nowadays, there is no such thing as purely passive blocking. You must have a forward intention. I am blocking, but I am pressuring you. Don't give them easy chances. When you suppress the ball with your CG, your return quality is higher, and your ability to block. Heavy quality shots improves, giving you a better success rate. That is stability. Use the body. Body and weight press the ball down. That's how you block. Note this point. It must be on the rise. Suppress it in the rising phase. Now, for extreme spin, there is a special method for handling exceptionally spinny balls. Very, very heavy spin. If you punch, you might not hold the arc down. You might need to do what I said earlier, which sounded wrong. Poking, floating. So, nothing is completely wrong. Extreme situations require extreme measures. For super heavy spin, you can float the block, soft block. Because it's so spinny, you borrow the spin to handle it. Right, she's talking about you guys. Coach Zhu made 2 errors, mimicking your mistakes. This happens a lot. If the ball is really difficult to punch back, use the rubber's characteristics. Use soft hands to float. Drift it back. Let me use an analogy. The core mindset is this. Is it like this? If my loop quality isn't high, say, semi-high arc, I can smash, punch it. Or if it's not spinny, you punch, right? Why? High arc, higher than the net. You can hit directly. But why does she say, in special cases, you should just stick, block it? Special methods. Why? If I loop like this, how do you smash? I loop it lower than the net height. In matches, if he forces a hit on that, since short pips have no friction, the error rate increases drastically. Only when it's very low and spinny. 2, like this. He just blocks steadily. But if it's low, spinny, he blocks. If it's a ball like this, Coach Zhu doesn't need to block safely. He can power hit it freely. If it's above the net, unleash power. That's already. Why suggest safe blocking? It's to reduce your unforced errors. If it's spinny, stick it. Too spinny. It has too much rotation. I can't smash it directly. Just float. Drift it back. Correct. Understand the core logic. Got it? We aren't teaching you to smash every single ball indiscriminately. Adjust based on the ball. Regulate your shots. Topspin versus backspin. Backspin is hard for short pips. You need to combine lifting, looping, and smashing. Let's teach how to open, lift, loop first. Again, keep the racket face open, bright. Hold the ball solidly. Distinguish between borrowed force lifting and active power lifting. Short pips can loop. It can lift backspin. Let Feng Luwen explain how to lift backspin with short pips against underspin. How should short pips lift? Coach Zhu doesn't want to explain. Come up and try lifting a few high ones. Be bold. It's okay to miss. Just hit. Go ahead. Actually, the more you drive into it, borrowing the table's rebound. Yes, use the table's rebound. It's easier to borrow force that way. This shot is a borrow and drive shot. Drive it. And the angle. If the angle is open, you can lift the ball over. It creates a better arc. And it's easier to release your power. So, push into the ball with a bright, open face. Drive it forward. See? Drive it. Firstly, the arc becomes flatter and longer, deeper. Secondly, your hand feeling improves. If you brush it thin like this, there's no speed. Let me try one. My understanding. Watch this, Coach Zhu. To lift this ball, you must open the face. If I close it like inverted rubber, look, if I use an inverted loop stroke, pure friction, it slips. If I loop like inverted, pure friction slips instantly. Why does Coach Zhu say open the face? Because when open, you engage the sponge. If you brush, you only hit the tops of the pips. Short pips have no surface grip. When you open the angle, you sink the ball into the sponge. The sponge has elasticity and some friction. You know, open the face up. Like Coach Zhu explained, watch again. This short pips rubber, it has friction, but not surface friction. It's not totally gripless. Correct. Come here, Coach Zhu. Check if I am right. Ill watch from here. Look at Coach Zhu. Open the angle a bit. Add some forward drive. Look at this shot. You see, you are hitting the bottom area. Scoop, hold the bottom. Inverted rubber brushes the top, but with short pips, scoop the bottom slightly, then drive forward. The impact is solid. You bring the ball back on the table. Let me try again. Another one. Not enough. Hit it thicker, more sponge, thicker contact. You're too far back. Right. Accelerate the stroke. Using my own understanding. Accelerate. No. This. Honestly, I don't play short pips, but I am. I am lifting based on logic. Coach Zhu's thick contact method. I can't do it perfectly. Coach Zhu says you need to accelerate too. Come on. Hey, is this right, Coach Zhu? Right or wrong? No, just... As a student, learning short pips, is this lifting method correct? Is my method, right? Do you know why that one was good? Because you stepped forward half a step. You were able to merge. The balls force into your body. Correct. I feel like I am pushing. You waited. You hesitated a split second. Inverted rubber waits to loop the drop. But short pips cannot wait. Right. You have it. At this timing point, you have it. That point felt right. Look at how you lift. Although using your way, look at Burke's loop referring to pro player. Watch him. His racket speed is fast. This isn't my way, I am saying. When you lift like that, you are still keeping the racket face. And contact very thick, solid. Even if you didn't intentionally open the face, your stroke naturally had that angle. That's why the contact was thick. Hey, that's better. See why. Huang Yingqi lifted poorly, yours was okay. It is because the first point I explained was just about the racket angle and hand feeling. But the crucial second point is body and CG, although his hands didn't have a huge motion like Burke. His center of gravity helped him generate force, right? Legs and body engaged. Look, watch him when he lifts. Ball come. He rotates his waist, hips. As the ball passes, he uses his CG upward to help lift the arc over the net. This shot failed because you used CG, but the friction was too thin, too much brushing. Right, look at this. He lifts with his CG. It lifts naturally. The ball arrives. Drop the CG down, then rise up. Combine with the ball's power. Ball comes, rotate the CG. I'm a lefty, so my left leg, CG, must rotate back to load, store energy, then release forward. Only using the hand won't work. Easy balls, maybe, but for fast balls, or when you need power, you need body rotation. That generates the lift and spin. And another note, don't drop your hands too low for the next ball. If hands are too low, nowadays very few balls drop slow and short. They come forward fast. If you hold the racket down, when the ball comes, you have to scoop up first. If you scoop, then try to press, you lose the angle. Keep the hands higher to lift. Yes, look at my hand. If I drop it here, the ball is already here. I have to scoop up, then press. But if I start here and use my CG to rotate, my hand and the incoming ball, their vertical height levels are relatively aligned. Yes, you definitely. You hit better when aligned. Flailing blindly won't be accurate. Align with the ball for a solid hit. So our initial motion must be solid alignment. Right? See? Solid. Align firmly first, then I lift, drive. Right? Do not drop the hands too much.